Alright, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna be doing some spark plugs on the old Raider here, so yep, they're under there. That one's right there, but like, yeah. The ones in the middle are buried, because there's two per cylinder, because lucky me, it's a Hemi, right? No. So, basically take this cover off, so you got bolts down here, and then some on the top. There's connectors up here, you gotta undo the connectors, and your fuel lines, and there's gonna be a vent somewhere, and yeah, so I'm gonna just start taking this cover off. Okay, so disconnect these guys. These two go to the back of the gauge. Disconnect those. This one's just its own thing. Just pull them out of the slots on here. I used pliers to pinch these two tabs together on the bottom and then just lifted them out. Take this vent tube off, so a little clamp on it. Pulling that off. Pull this vent tube off, and then start unbolting it. Okay, so got these bolts loosened off. You have to pop open these like caps. They have rubber nipples on the end, both these guys. Open those. You screw the screw in there shut, so clockwise all the way until it can't no more. I pulled off this side cover. There's just a little security screw here and an Allen up there, and then you have to take this cable off the key release for the seat. Yeah, and then I'm gonna grab a towel and I'm gonna undo the lines here. There's one there and one on the top of this one. And when you undo those, you get a plug for this one, and then something to go inside of this one. Like, I'll probably just use a fucking bolt or something, but proper way to do it is obviously just plugs that cap them off, but we will see what I have laying around. Okay, so I took off, there was a little vent here, moved it over here, there's a little bit of fuel in it. Don't worry about it, just it'll dump out. I dumped it. There's no more coming. That's just a vent. It goes into like the intake here. Or not the intake. I just had it straight. Well, I'm sure it goes into the intake, but it goes behind the coil cover. So you can see here, open, close. So it is a valve like I thought. So close these off and no fuel comes out. So I didn't drain the tank. No fuel coming out. We're good. Made a little bit of a mess. Keep a rag on hand. Wipe it up. You're good. So that's one of them. The other one is up here. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult to not make a mess, but I'm going to try stuffing a bunch of rags under it. And yeah, we'll get there real quick. Fun fact, you have to get a bracket at the front. So if you look down, you got to like scooch these wires, unhook this last one that was connected to itself too. Scooch them to the side. You'll see these two little ones here, kind of like right by the key lock in your fucking steering column, whatever you want to call it. You'll have the two little ones. Pull those out, and then this little metal bracket that I have supporting this here comes off. So that little metal bracket for the key thing comes off. That comes off. You got two more here. These guys you gotta undo, and then that is the front tab on the thing, which is actually apparently loose, or it's supposed to have play. I don't know. I'm gonna say that's loose, and I'm gonna actually maybe snug that bit more, or it's bushings and they're just worn. I don't know. Either way, it's off. These bikes look very weird under here. Yep, that's the intake. Don't think I'm gonna bother doing an intake. There's no point in it. But yeah, that was fun. Not really, but at least now, spark plug. Well, scooch this guy and then spark plug. The front one is open. Yeah, so it's just this guy that's a bitch. But I don't know why they put it like right in the middle under the frame, for fuck's sake. So I'm gonna go get my spark plugs and put them in. Okay, so once you have this top cover off here, that just sits on top of the air filter that you obviously want to replace when it looks like shit like this. Just gonna pull this guy out. Fucking toss it somewhere. The garbage. Grab the new one. Go ahead and put her in. There you go. I don't think there's any, yeah, there's no specific front and back on it. I have the screws out of here. And go ahead and put this on. The little side goes to the back, the wide open side goes to the front. Move all these cables out of the way. There you go. Don't drop screws down in the bike. All the screws are put back in here. 3 along there, 1 in the middle there, 3 along this side. Now, I had this plate over top too, so I will have to take 2 screws out to put this plate back in. I believe it went in the middle here. I'll have to take 2 screws out to put this in, and then these connectors went over top. Okay, so got the plate on, these 2 here. Got all the connectors put back in. As you can see here, they just have little things they slide into, and then you just plug the clip in the other way. So those are all on. I'm going to scooch these out of the way. This is my vent for my gas tank. Make sure this is tucked up here so I don't forget it. Try and get it in there. There we go. So I think I'm about ready to put my tank back on. So I will do that here in a minute. Okay, so make sure your vent tube comes out the left side here along with your fuel gauge plug. These 2 are going to go from this side, the vent goes across. So, and then you got your 2 bolts you're going to put in from the top here. It's the bigger ones here. I'm just slide this up, get those lined up. Okay. And you got the 2 down here you gotta line up. Just careful, don't put these in yet because you're gonna have to get these fuel lines on. Okay. This guy is gonna go underneath here. And then you gotta get the fuel line on it. And then push it into its little clip. Okay, there. So, return line's off. This guy goes on to the fuel tank there. You gotta rotate it a little bit, then get the pinch clip right there back in, and then we're gonna have to pull the rubber nipple and open it. Same with this one. Jesus Christ. Plus this hose is being cut. Yeah. fuel line's connected, one there, and the one down here. Now you gotta pull these rubber guys off here. Maybe. There. You got your 2 screws. You gotta back out so that the fuel line's open. I got a little bit out there. Fuck. Let's right bash it off. Set these guys aside. Take your return line, put it back on too before you forget. Got more fuel everywhere, solid. Try to clean most of it up. Well, I'm not gonna get all that down in there, but okay, so put that fuel line clamp on here. So that clamps on the return hose. I thought it was just like a vent, but it actually goes up and then in, and then it goes into the fuel rail in there. You just can't see it because of the way it turns behind this. But that is the fuel return, so just a heads up. There'll be fuel in that. So now I just gotta open these valves back up. With the non-existent flathead I don't have. With this guy here. Hopefully I don't have any leaks. Don't force it out, just so it's lightly got tension on it. You can see the little wires it hits. Right there. So these aren't leaking, which is good. There's no leaks at the hoses. So that looks good. Awesome. Put your little caps back on. You can put your rear tank bolts here on, or nuts rather. Now, you can go ahead and tighten those guys down, tighten these guys down. I don't have the torque spec on these, but I'm not gonna die if it's slightly loose. I'm just gonna snug it. Do both of them. Then you want to grab your key plate here, and it's going to go down on top of these. Make sure move the wires out of the way here. Do they go on top or under? these wires go on top of it like this, and this just gets put on there, and got the screws for those in here. Here, this guy. Okay, so those two are now snug down. You got all your wires out of the way here. We'll start putting these back into their spots here. Okay, so those all are lined up. This guy goes on here. This is the tank vent. Grab the little wire guy and try and slide it on. There we go. Just like that. Then go get your fucking gauge cluster. Plug these guys back in, and that should be good to go. That's cool.
It stopped?
Yep. It was back on my fucking home screen like it crashed. I don't even know if it got it, so. Okay, so once you have this plugged in, go ahead, put the 2 bolts back in the top there. One down here. They're number 5 Allen. Torque spec is unknown, just snug them. And same with the ones up here. And the one on the other side. Okay, so you need to get the side panel back on with the key and the security nut there. This guy, the wire in. I can reach it. Yeah. No security screw on the side here. I'm going to angle this back up top here. Okay, so got the security screw in, got the back Allen key in there. These 2 hoses have to go in between it, so you got to kind of tilt the top down or put this on before the fuel tank, I guess, but that would be very hard. And on the bottom it kind of has like a little rubber thing that kind of not really snaps in, but sort of snaps in. Anyways, that's back in. Security nut's tight, Allen key's tight, so side cover's back on, fuel tank's fully back on. That should be it for that. And I gotta get the wheel put back on, but should be good to start.